If you've ever needed a blueprint for how to think, how to move, and ultimately how to lead yourself, this is it. So, y'all, I'm dropping my 10 limitless codes. And these are the core principles that I believe every person, but especially every man, should live by. So, this is going to be a weekly series, and it's going to be one code every Wednesday until we've laid down all 10 limitless codes. But I need you all to hear this before we go any further. If you don't like this video right now, this series might just disappear. All right. And this isn't because I just need to see numbers, but it's really because the algorithm literally won't even know this is something worth pushing. So I need the Legion to show up. So if you want more content like this, deeper, realer, and not surface level, you have to let YouTube know that it is worth keeping around. So tap that like button and let's lock in. This week's code is simple, but it's going to change how you move forever. Limitless code number 1. Calm is a weapon. So, understand this, guys. Chaos isn't something that you conquer. Chaos is something that you have to outlast. Chaos is not something that you conquer. It's something that you must endure and outlast. Most people and most men especially think that dominance is about being aggressive, assertive, loud, moving fast. But the strongest presence anywhere, anytime, is the one that's unshakable, that doesn't hesitate. And what we must understand is that stillness is strength. And the more chaotic life gets, the more powerful you become when you don't move. So let me show you guys why. Because here's the problem. Most people, men especially, like I said, are very reactive. They're reacting to everything. What can this look like in relationships? She raises her voice, so he raises his. Something erupts, something goes wrong, and now you start over explaining. Somebody disagrees with you, and you're taking it personal. Understand what you are, because that kind of man is easily controlled, because you're always able to pull a reaction out of that type of man. But what they don't realize is that true power always belongs to the one who can pause. So calm, stillness, this isn't just about doing nothing and being passive. It's about choosing not to be pulled in every direction, especially when it comes in the form of reaction. So the more pressure that you can sit with without scrambling, ultimately the more unshakable you become. So let's really unpack this code. Okay? Let's define it. Like I mentioned, y'all, stillness is not passivity, but what it is its intentional presence. It's you choosing when to move and how to respond, and whether that moment even deserves your energy. Let's look at what this can look like in the real world. In a relationship, sometimes the arguments aren't always about logic, right? Sometimes it's about energy. And ultimately what we're talking about is what your lady needs at that point. Usually they're out of control, right? So what do we need to be? She needs to feel that you at your core is stable. So you are the calm within her storm of emotions. Okay? And this This can come out in anything. Leadership. Let's look at how this can look in business, y'all. Think about the quietest person in the boardroom. What do they usually do? They're usually in control and they choose to speak last. And when they finally do choose to speak, while everybody was quick to talk about the first thing that came to their mind, everyone listens. And that person isn't distracted by the noise. Ultimately, in life, when you're calm, when you're rooted, that enables you to be able to see the patterns much more clearly. That gives you a bird's eye view. And now you can actually become the observer and not the reactor. So let's talk about some common mistakes that I see a lot of people making when it comes to this. One of the main mistakes is just how they even perceive this. Mistaking calmness, stillness for weakness. Mistaking silence and thinking that that means submission. And how this can look when we do actually get active with it. What a lot of people do is they will over explain in order to prove a point. But no one's listening to your words because your energy already said enough. So I used to think that I had to say more in order to be taken seriously. I used to think that I had to react quick in order to show that I'm not hesitating or that I'm not scared. But y'all, over time, I realized control isn't about doing more. It's about needing less. So what this can look like is if you can sit in silence, even when your emotions are begging you to act reactively, if you can delay your response while the world is demanding urgency and trying to pull you, then you're in control. Not the world, not your ego, and not anyone else's energy. So this week, I challenged the Legion. Pick one moment each day and intentionally pause before responding, before texting back, before defending yourself, and ask, is this response coming from strength or is this response coming from insecurity? And I want you guys to start noticing this and becoming aware, because awareness is always the first step. And calmness and stillness is the first sign of a man who can lead himself first. Because when your inner world is settled, the outer world will lose its grip on you. And eventually, people won't even test you anymore. And it's not because you barked louder, but it's because they felt that you weren't moved. So understand that. Stillness is the language power speaks through. All right? And it doesn't hesitate. It calmly assesses and it decides. All right? So, guys, if this helped you in any way, drop a comment, leave a like. You know I need that. And also subscribe if you want to join the Limitless Legion. Cash App is linked in the description if you want to tip the channel. If you got value from this or you just want to support, help us grow. But I will see you guys next Wednesday for Limitless Code number 2.